everybody, it's Rebecca the dietitian, and I'm sitting here with Ian from Ian Meyer's Wellness here in Encinitas, California, at this amazing restaurant called Eve that he brought me to. It's amazing.
Yes.
So excited.
Even Encinitas. If you haven't been here, you got to check it out. It's
Encinitas
it's a
is
sweet spot. And it just so
pretty
happens to
cool
be on the Pacific Coast Highway on the 101, which is a beautiful scenic drive as well.
2 blocks to the beach and a really cool little town, lots of cool shops. So we're having a great time.
Absolutely.
And I am so happy to be here because I did a raw food 1-week reset with Ian, and it was a great experience.
7 days.
7 days, and his recipes were amazing, and he's
you.
amazing. He's such a great coach.
As
so,
are you. We're kind of on similar paths.
We're on a
lot of parallels.
Trying to help everyone get healthier.
Raise the vibrations
yes.
of the planet through nutrition and
stop suffering.
There's a lot of that going on.
So I just wanted to sit here and take this opportunity to ask Ian some questions and share with you his wealth of knowledge while we're here. So is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have my permission.
Okay. So I get this question all the time, and Ian, I'll put some pictures in here. I'll throw some pictures in, but he's
I think I might know what it is.
He's in pretty good shape. Let's just say that. He's looking pretty good. He works out a lot. And he's 100% vegan.
Yes, 100% vegan.
For years now.
Almost 7 years.
Okay.
Actually, January will be 7 years.
So where do you get your protein?
The drum roll. Good question. So, gosh, I could go all day on this, but to keep it really simple, I would say instead of protein, I look at it as amino acids, and we know that plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, all of those are extremely high in amino acids, and which are the building blocks for muscle. So rather than going with complex protein structures like meat, fish, eggs, stuff like that, very hard to digest and break down and absorb all that nutrition, I go to the plant kingdom, which would be fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, legumes, things like that. And so the last 7 years I've been getting protein from things like kale, spinach, chard, all of those greens. And then what I discovered, and this was on the reset, is mung beans. Mung beans are something that is lentils and mung beans are super high in protein, and mung beans actually have antioxidants and a lot of different vitamins and things that other foods don't have. So I love mung beans for that. Plus they're high in fiber, dietary fiber.
I love mung beans. On his reset was the first time I ever actually had a sprouted mung bean, and it's a very simple recipe. Would you mind if I shared the recipe?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
It's simple.
I'm gonna just post the recipe on here for you guys. It's simple. It is amazing. I'll also post the brand that you shared with me of what to get, and they are life-changing.
Check it out. And it's such an easy recipe. And they last for a couple of days, so you can use, you can have them on a lot of different things throughout the week, salads or just by themselves.
Yeah, usually we make a big pot and then we just eat half of it, and then the rest goes in the fridge for the rest of the week.
That's simple.
Yes. So great, thank you for sharing. And I don't think you're gonna think that he looks like he needs any extra protein when you see some of his pictures.
I mean, I don't know.
He's in pretty good shape. Neither one of us looks malnourished, I would say.
I don't think so.
Okay. So another question that you've heard me answer, but I would love to get Ian's take on fruit. A lot of people are concerned about fruit being too sugary.
Yeah.
So what do you say? Is it safe to eat fruit?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and there's so much information out there that I feel, in my opinion, is misleading, especially when you look at the body and how fruit is, like how it gets digested and absorbed, and all the benefits in fruit. I mean, we know that fruit is the only food on the planet, well, not the only food, but one of the main foods on the planet that is full of antioxidants and flavonoids. We don't get that from vegetables, unfortunately. Vegetables are really good for building and putting on muscle and alkalizing the body, but when it comes down to cleansing the body, fruit actually has the flavonoids, the astringents, and the
Enzymes.
antioxidants and enzymes. I mean, it's a perfect food for us as a human species. I mean, or as, that's just, it's easy to digest. There's fiber, and the sugar fuels the nervous system, because it's not the fructose in the fruit is not your table sugar. It's a simple sugar. And what's interesting about fruit, and this is what I learned through Dr. Robert Morris's class, who I'm certified with, my mentor in Florida, in Sarasota, is that fruit is one of the only foods that actually doesn't require any kind of energy to pull into the cells by way of what they call diffusion, and it makes it a perfect food for diabetics. But it's different because if you're eating complex foods or proteins and things, it doesn't work the same. If you're just eating fruit, fruit is actually really, really powerful and really good. But the moment you bring in complex foods with fruit, it changes the whole game. And that's where some people say, well, I had fruit, but I had it with oatmeal, and then I had an upset stomach, or my blood sugar spiked up. It's because you're mixing complex sugar with a simple sugar, and one wants to digest fast and the other one wants to be slowly digested, like the oatmeal. So then blood sugar gets all crazy and then gives it a bad rap. So
Antioxidants that he's talking about in the fruit fight oxidative damage, and I mean, we're just inundated with oxidative damage that can cause
breathing.
cancers and diseases and aging. We want to stop aging, right, so fast. So you can live longer and healthier with lots of antioxidants from the fruits. Yeah.
yes,
Fantastic.
fruits are definitely something, I think, in my opinion, best just to have them in the morning, though. Before you have any other food in your stomach, they'll digest better. You'll have better absorption, and your body will use the fruit sugar to kind of fuel the nervous system.
Right, and sugar is necessary. Everyone's so scared of
Yeah.
it, but natural, beautiful, plant-based sugars are fantastic energy for your gas tank.
Absolutely.
So he makes giant smoothies that are so delicious on his reset that we've been
There's
doing.
a lot in there. There's a lot of ingredients. The
A lot
other
of love in there.
Yes, there is a lot of love in there, and there's with fruit. There was something I was going to say, because now that we're on this topic of fruit and sugar. What's your thoughts on the fruit? Because I'd love to hear your take on the fruit too. I'm sure that they
It's
may
very
already know,
similar.
but-
Yes, it's very similar. So I think fruit gets a bad rap. I think fructose gets blamed because of high fructose corn syrup, which is unrelated. That's just a highly processed version of probably genetically modified corn, which is just like a totally different ballgame. But natural fruit, fructose from fruit, comes wrapped up in a beautiful little package with fiber and antioxidants and vitamins and minerals, and when that goes in your body, you have a lot to do. Your body's just dealing with processing all of these beautiful antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and things that it needs to work through, and the fiber, digesting the fiber. So it's really kind of slowly just letting the sugar release into your body at the perfect natural speed that it's meant to do it at. It's slower than table sugar, but faster than vegetables, and it's just like beautiful gas for your gas tank when you need a boost, which
Right.
first thing in the morning would be a great time.
Yeah, and before exercise is good too,
Yes,
because you
yes.
get that instant energy.
Yes.
And the difference too is versus when we say complex sugar or complex carbohydrate versus a simple sugar, a simple carbohydrate like fruit, is the amount of time that it takes to digest and absorb the nutrition. So you get that instant energy burst before a workout or first thing in the morning, and that's why people feel really good when they have fruit.
Right.
But if you mix it with oatmeal, or you mix it with with grains or anything else, it's a totally different experience. And for most people, what I've found with my clients is that they have an upset stomach, or they have gas, or they just don't feel like the fruit was really good for them.
Right.
And it was just the simple food combining.
Right, but you're okay with spinach in your fruit smoothie.
Sure,
things
yeah. Things like greens are
Yeah.
not, especially when you're blending them up. If you were putting oatmeal in there, it'd be different. That would change things up totally. But if you're keeping it, in the fruit and vegetable world, one is fructose and one is glucose, but those two can blend okay together. It's just when we get into the complex stuff that
Right, so
things really
something
change.
to keep in mind if you're finding that you're a little bit upset after that kind of breakfast.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to think about and try to separate, doing a little experiment on yourself.
Yeah.
So
That's the only way you learn.
Great information.
Yeah.
And one last quick little question for you.
Okay.
So what I don't talk a lot about, I encourage it, but I don't talk a lot about why raw fruits and vegetables and foods, just raw foods, it's not completely raw, but heavily raw. So what's why so much raw in your life?
Man, that's a good question. And it's been 7 years now. So like when I first started into this, I didn't eat any vegetables. So if anybody's watching this, that maybe some of people can relate, I didn't eat any vegetables for the first 30 years. I didn't like them. I was a texture person, couldn't stand the flavor, the texture, the taste. And now I eat 90-95% raw, living foods, plant-based.
We both come from like terrible food backgrounds.
Yeah, I was like junk food. I mean, it was real. Like Wendy's 3-4 times a week.
And we were both a lot heavier than we both are now.
I wish I had some photos to share right now. You guys would be like, what? This is totally different. But the plant-based, or let me rephrase that, the raw living foods, as I like to say, is the major difference is anytime that we heat up something over 118, 19 degrees, we start cooking out, well, the water content of the foods are gone. They start to, you might have to give it a minute. Okay, we're back. So the water contents, one of the most important things in my opinion with fruits and vegetables is like all the natural water content that's in the foods. And when we eat foods like celery or cucumbers or apples, all that water that's in there, that hydrates our body on a cellular level. And therefore we don't drink as much water, we don't need as much water. So I like raw living foods for keeping them in their natural state and not cooking them for that main reason. The other reason is the enzymes, the minerals, and the vitamins. The higher the temperature, the more we lose of those vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. And that's really what we're looking for. Body's not looking for all these endless calories. We're looking for the minerals. And if we get the minerals, then we get what we need to thrive. May not have a lot of muscle, or we may not have a lot of weight on us, but minerals are really what we need to thrive. So I love the living foods just because it keeps all the vitamins, minerals, and enzymes intact. It keeps the water in there, keeps the whole molecular structure of the food all intact, and the body loves it. And if you do it only 70-80% of the time, and then you have some cooked food on the 20-30%, it's awesome. You still reap the benefits.
Great. It does, as you get healthier and healthier, it just feels good.
It does feel good.
It feels good to have a big, and this is from two people that did not start this way. It feels really good to have a salad with just a bunch of fruits and vegetables and
whatever you want,
mung
veggies,
beans
fruit,
and whatever on it. It's
especially if you can share it with friends.
Dressing.
If you can share it with a group of people, it's like it makes the salad so much more enjoyable and the experience so much more enjoyable. I think having some cooked food is also grounding. So like a little bit of quinoa every now and then, or maybe a little bit of steamed veggies or whatever, maybe a vegan pizza or something.
Yep.
Something like that can be good for grounding. And there's times when you maybe want to increase your cleansing or detoxifying the body, where you can go higher raw, maybe add in some juices or some smoothies and do a little bit more there. But that's the beautiful thing, is you can always adjust, but having a little bit of cooked is, in my opinion, now where I'm at 7 years into this. I was fully raw once upon a time in the beginning, and I just now I find having 10% of the time having a little bit of cooked food is actually nice. It's a nice balance.
Nice.
Yeah,
and balance.
Yeah, because we live in a world that's got a lot going on, so don't want to be too rigid, or that's what I like about what you teach and talk about and promote, is that you know how to, you understand that life is sometimes can be a little challenging for some people, and food addictions are a reality. And so being able to I love how you teach that and help people to take those steps in the right direction. So
thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you so much,
work.
Ian. I hope you could hear us through all the fun that is going on here on the
We are on the
street with
101.
skateboarders and people just having a great time. So trucks.
Welcome to
going by.
California.
Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to put Ian's information on here as well as mine, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.